Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I am General Lotz, and today we're here to take a look at a classic, Kingdoms of Amalur: The Reckoning. Now, this was a big deal back in 2012 when it came out. I enjoyed it quite a lot back then. It was done by, or the development company was founded by a baseball player, which is kind of crazy to think about because, like, a lot of these athletes will waste the money on, like, a fleet of cars, a fleet of baby mamas, but this guy spent a lot of his money on a video game. He spent so much money that the game had to sell an unreasonable amount for it to ever be profitable, and while it sold like 1 million copies, that wasn't nearly enough to actually be profitable, and so that company went under. Today we're looking at the 2020 remaster, mainly because I have not played the remaster. I only played the original, so we'll see if it looks better or plays better or whatever. And joining me today is the Triple X Medic.
Hello, it is I, the Triple X Medic, bringing good news to everybody far and wide. I passed my captain's exam and got elected my first attempt. So I have been promoted from lieutenant to captain.
So we're gonna have to call you Captain Medic now.
Medic's fine.
Captain Doctor Medic. I do not have my papers with me though. I lost them in the wash.
From the beginning.
If you call me captain, make sure there's a kangaroo at the end of that.
Okay.
Decade of the conflict.
Most of these people aren't gonna know who or what a Captain Kangaroo is. I barely do because I was too
We
young.
lived in harmony among the Fae.
Oh,
In a world awakened to new
and I found my Pogs for any of you who remember Pogs.
Fat ass white girls. My favorite thing to find.
Oh, not those. The cap game from the 90s.
A force
Oh well.
powerful enough to twist even
Thank you, Riley.
and the mute.
No, resume, damn it. Hold on a second. This is a very loud cutscene. Hold on, I gotta turn the volume down on the cutscene.
But Gadflow, the new king of the Winter Court, surprised us all. Singular among
If I remember, this game came out originally in like 06, 07.
No, it was 2012.
visionary. He had power like
It was, oh, okay.
terrible.
When was the remaster?
2020.
Damn.
They didn't
I was
fix the
about to give
audio.
her a lot more credit.
Followers, the two
Hold on, I can't hear you. I'm getting my ears blown out by this intro here.
beneath Gadflow's crystalline fortress of Amethyst.
I was giving props to the intro cinematics. I mean, they are beautiful.
Yeah. I don't know if it looked this good back in 2012, but at least the remastering makes it look pretty great.
We might have been victorious.
This came out on the Xbox 360, the PS3, and the PC, and I played it on the PC. We're on the PC right now, too.
Each two eyes are fallen on the battlefield would soon rise again. For the Fae do not know death as we do. How could we stand against such a force? For 10 years the war raged. For 10 years the armies of men and Alpha fought and died. But as our numbers dwindled, we knew that it was only a matter of time. Our fate had been written. At least, that is what we believed. Until you died.
So this is a pretty badass intro. It's a pretty cool story. This is done by R.A. Salvatore. He's very famous for the fantasy series Drizzt. I think this could have actually been so much more had they not spent so much money on it. Because this is kind of an open world RPG. Kind of. Even has a pretty good soundtrack.
My tarot cards.
Yeah, he's a 15-year-old girl. I don't know what it is about like teenage girls that love the tarot cards and all the witchy stuff.
Don't forget the astrological shit.
That's something that goes beyond just like the youths. Like there's people that are much older that love that stuff.
Go on and pull back the sheet, though. It'll need to be in our report, one
And I've not played Lord of the Rings Conquest. I have it. I planned to play it at one point, but I just never got around to it. And for those who don't know what wait, assuming I'm thinking of I'm thinking of War in the North. I never played Conquest. War in the North is what I wanted to play, because that's a co-op hack and slash. Oh, wait, no. Okay, should I make Elric a Melon Bonet or Hank Hill? Captain, which should we do?
Well, you had me at Hank Hill.
Okay, let's see. What would Hank Hill be? An Alaman or a Verani? Let's see. Well, Hank Hill is probably good at fixing stuff and at persuasion, so we'll make him an Alaman. He definitely likes stuff to be ordered, so we'll give him that. Okay, how can we make this look as Hank Hill-ish? That we can probably fix his hair to look more Hank Hall. All right, let's try to give him a slightly better face. Hank has kind of a fat face, a less sculpted chin. Yeah, that looks enough like that. Okay, let's fix his hair, because that is definitely not a Hank Hill haircut. Yeah, we should give him cornrows. That's what we should do. I don't know if we're gonna get Hank Hill hair. We'll make him bald. That way he has to wait, there we go. That's probably as good as we're gonna get there. I think Hank Hill had brown hair, right?
Yes, it was like almost like a high and tight.
All right. And he didn't have facial hair, nor did he ever wear an earring. That Hank ain't right. Okay, his chin is all wrong, but we're just gonna deal with it. We're just gonna deal with it. It's Hank Hill as much as we can get.
Oh, you have to put Bill as a tattoo on the back of his head.
But Conquest is supposed to be like the original Star Wars battle. Oh, I remember that. Yeah. I never actually played it, but I will definitely give that a totally legal download. I've recently gotten into PS3 emulation, and I've kind of done PS3 emulation off and on over the years, but it's finally gotten to the point where it's actually worthwhile. In a couple weeks, we're gonna stream that Nathan Drake game. What is that called? Uncharted. There we go.
Cyrus brings up a good point.
Well, because that not King of the Hill, Hank Hill. I don't know. I don't know why we keep bringing up King of the Hill. It just kind of comes up, you know, the remaster or reboot or came out. So been thinking about it. So you're the fate. So in this game, you play as the Fateless, and so you can change fate and such. This guy looks more like a skinny John Goodman.
You know, I can actually see that. If he says yabba dabba doo, I'm out.
But I liked that movie. I thought the Flintstones movie wasn't too bad.
Dude, I love that movie.
I haven't seen it since I was a kid, so I don't know. Like, Rosie O'Donnell as Wilma, I don't know if I could sit through that, but...
It was before she was an awful shitlib.
Okay. Now,
do you remember when McDonald's had the tie-ins for movies that were coming out?
Yeah.
McDonald's had these Flintstone crystal glasses. And as a kid, we had some. And it was one of my favorite memories. And over time, we just lost them.
No.
So I recently went on eBay and bought the lot. And, oh man, does it bring back memories.
I never had those, but I did indeed have the Batman Forever ones. Man, Batman Forever. Right,
that was the one with Two-Face, yeah?
Yeah. They could not sanction the buffoonery.
No,
right.
Jim Carrey was just too much.
I mean, that Jim Carrey can either be funny or really insufferable. So what we got here is just a third-person hack and slash RPG, and it's very, very well done. Like, it has a lot of value. You're seeing the money well spent at the very least, even if they spent too much money. You know, it's like it plays really well. It even plays well with the keyboard and mouse, because that's all I used for a long time before I got old and had to use a controller. I don't know if this remaster was really necessary, because it looks pretty much the same. But maybe it's been so long since I played the original, I just can't really see the difference. There's some games that when they're remastered, like they literally are a different game and better. Kind of like Hexen with those objective markers. Man, that makes the game so much better. We gotta save Jim Cummings.
It's amazing what a quality of life upgrade can do for a game.
Oh yeah. Okay, I remember how to actually play the game here. I really like the soundtrack. I mean, this goes to show you that you can make a good RPG. It's just Bethesda can't. I mean, I know we love Bethesda these days, but like, comparing this to like Skyrim, like Skyrim was very popular in 2012 still, because it had only been out for like a year at that point. But like, the fact that this game has a complete story, you know, it's got like all kinds of different armor types, like voice acting that doesn't sound like shit. You know, it's like, this is actually a really, really well done game. Now, there's not much dialogue, but what's there is actually pretty good. And you can actually persuade, like, it's a much more complete game than, say, something like Skyrim or even Oblivion. We're not going to bother talking to anybody because, you know, we're just doing a stream here and we don't... And the dialogue isn't that deep, but it's still deeper than something... You should just run around in underwear. That could work.
That character you were just talking to reminded me of that one guy from Star Wars.
Wait, which one?
The Italian-looking alien guy.
I can't think of... You mean like Yoda or something?
No, it was...
The Ewoks?
No, it wasn't an Ewok. He was just one of those strange characters that he probably had a name.
Yeah, Terrence Stamp has died.
He would have probably been with like Akbar or something.
Oh, some background character that I can't remember, but if I saw him, I'd remember though.
Yeah.
You know,
he didn't get a lot of screen time.
Vampire the Masquerade, be it the first game or now this new second game, just does not have... I'm not really interested in that. I don't really care about vampires. Mainly because I'm not a teenage girl. So, there's that. Now, like, whenever you watch, like, a vampire or werewolf movie, do you ever, like, look at vampires as, like the rich people and, like, werewolves as, like, working class?
Ironically, yes.
It's like, that's, whenever I think about vampires, I do think, like, wow, they're just rich assholes. I guess they kind of are, but, like, to me, the werewolf is, like, the working class monster. He's got to work for a living. And, you know, arguably, a werewolf is not as evil as a vampire. It's like, you know, he can't control himself during, like, the full moon. And some werewolves can actually be heroic if they're lycans. And you know how I know that? Because girls love lycans, apparently. They like big, hairy men.
And vampires, they can pass for human even in their vampire form. Like, lycans are just screwed.
Yeah, but they can... It's more like with a lichen or something, it's more like a superpower almost. Because they can be like a regular person and then transform into, like, you know, something that's super powerful. Oh god, not Twilight. Twilight sucked. Literally. I don't know why people like that. I remember, like, around the mid-2010s when the Twilight equivalent came out. What was that stupid thing called? 50 Shades of Grey, that's what it was. Did you remember 50 Shades of Grey? Apparently, like, females are just having spontaneous orgasms in the theater. It's like, really? Some lame-ass nonsense is gonna make them go?
Oh yeah, and they were taking the books with them in public, and it was like softcore erotica for them.
It's just like, I don't know how much I buy that, or maybe people are that suppressed or something. I don't know. Nosferatu came back. Okay, the Nosferatu movie, is that new? For some reason, I thought that was like 5 or 6 years ago. But I think vampires have probably suffered the most from like modern day kind of like toning down. Although werewolves haven't done much better. There was apparently a Wolfman remake where he basically was just a trailer park meth head. So it's like, I guess he really is working class after all. Like,
One of my favorite vampire lore movies, and you can laugh at me if you want, but I loved Queen of the Damned.
I've never actually seen that.
Picture a vampire that decides to rest from like the 1700s, and he hears the music in the world change, and he begins to hear new metal, and he falls in love with it, and he becomes a new metal fan.
Okay. I mean, I'm not gonna.
I'm not even kidding.
I'm gonna have to watch that. Like seriously, I'm gonna have to watch that.
It's so worth it.
Because that sounds like the greatest thing ever. And
he
really,
literally becomes like Linkin Park, or like he gets so big.
That's just crazy. I'm gonna have to acquire that legally. And Riley, I mean, is it on fire though? Did you at least toast it a little bit?
Riley, if you have a cookie, it better be on fire.
Now, when it comes to a vampire movie that I do need to watch, there's a movie, and I can't remember the name of it right now, but I discovered this a little while ago. It is a movie that has like half the cast of aliens in it as the vampires. It's got Bill Paxton, it's got Vasquez, and it's got damn, I can't remember his name. My brain always like goes away when I'm streaming. Like Lance Hendrickson, and they're all vampires. Like in this vampire family, and I really want to watch that.
Don't forget the Lost Boys.
I don't think it is the Lost Boys though.
No, I'm saying don't forget the Lost Boys.
Oh.
Young Kiefer Sutherland.
So what you can do in this game is you can basically play like a multi-class of everything, but I generally just like to hit things with my sword and shoot it with magic. Kind of like real life, except I don't have a sword or magic, but you could count like having a gun as magic, right?
God damn it, I was just about to say 45 ACP makes great magic.
I mean, it kind of does.
If now it's dead. Ta-da!
That's one thing about fiction that's always kind of funny. It's like where they carry a sword and a gun. By the time you've used the gun, you're not going to need the sword. The only reason it makes sense in 40k is because they have armor and you need the sword to somehow get through the gaps in the armor. Well, it's not somehow, but you use the sword to get through the gaps in the armor to, you know, kill the Chaos Space Marine or what have you.
What if gun, but also fires swords?
I mean, you do technically have that in 40k. Well, give me the staff. So yeah, next month we're gonna have a big reader's guide on fantasy. I didn't even like fantasy really until very recently. Like 2010 is the earliest I ever got into the fantasy genre of anything. Now, did you watch Lord of the Rings when it came out? Because it was huge in its day. Like it was Star Wars level huge.
I did not watch it when it came out. I watched it years later because my sister made me.
Oh. Did you find it as boring as I did?
Yes. The whole movie is just hurry up and wait.
The first fantasy book you read was back in 2021. I need to take a look at Razor Fist's book. I read Shad M. Brooks's book. I even did a video on it. It was remarkably good for a first novel. I mean, it's just a ripoff of Brandon Sanderson, but it's a good ripoff. All the Blueies hate it because they hate him. They try to be like, oh, he likes the essay. It's like, well, not really. If you read the book, the whole point is that the main character is a bad guy, you know. So yeah. And yes, I do like the Doom novels. I even did a video on it. Did a video on all of them. So like, these are technically not dwarves, they're gnomes, which are similar to, but legally distinct from, dwarves. And then if you get into D&D, there's like all kinds of dwarves. I like D&D, the books and things of that nature, but Lord of the Rings, just couldn't do it. Yes, thanks for the...
I remember D&D had an awful movie.
Well, it depends on what era you're talking about. Back in the 90s, yes, it was terrible. Which is kind of sad, but it's what it is. But there's a new one that came out back in 2023. Yes, we're all old now. 2023 was like 2 years ago. And that movie was actually pretty okay. It was a complete and total mess, but a good mess. Yeah, the Shadow Warrior novels are pretty good. See, I don't consider tie-ins to be fan fiction. I usually consider them better than the movie if they're written well enough, because a lot of those kind of books have better writing than the movies because they actually are given to a real writer and they actually know how logic works. And they actually explain how it works.
Anytime you mention Warrior, I always think of that awful Mickey Rourke game.
Yep. Now, Shadow Warrior with Lo Wang, who would be considered offensive by today's standards. In the book, he's got to fight a dinosaur. So we're brought back to life by this guy. Yeah, we're basically John Goodman. I should have just named my character John Goodman, because he looks like a skinny John Goodman.
You can't call him John Goodman for legal reasons, so you'd have to call him, like, Jacob Allswell.
I mean, that works. I would have loved to have seen a Duke Nukem book. But not every media tie-in book is actually good. There is a trilogy of books for Descent, the Six Axis of Freedom game. It is terrible. Terrible. Absolutely horrible. Whenever I read a book, if it takes forever for something to happen, I can't stand it. Or like there's way too many characters that are unnecessary. I just won't do it because I know what a bad book looks like. He's John Goodman. I don't know how I created John Goodman by accident. It's like in the live-action King of the Hill movie, John Goodman will be Hank Hill.
Dude, that would be perfect.
John Goodman's too old though, unless he's playing like old Hank Hill.
If you know, when it comes to King of the Hill, I do see you as like the Hank Hill type.
I'm not that repressed.
I'd be more of like a Buck Strickland.
Yeah, I'm not that repressed though. But I still appreciate the compliment regardless. Razor Fist was an abusive groomer. Oh yeah, there's evidently some audio that surfaced of that guy kind of like whining to his girlfriend. It's always kind of hilarious whenever like these famous YouTube people, you like hear them in like a private setting and they all sound kind of whiny. That's something that made me kind of sad about Steven Crowder. There was some audio that leaked to him, or maybe it was a video, something like that, where he's like, I can't do that either. It's like, whoa, aren't you like a 40-year-old dude that should at least be able to stand up for yourself a little better than that? Just saying. I don't remember what the argument even was between that guy and whoever it was. Maybe it's his wife or girlfriend or what have you. But it's like, come on, stand up for yourself, dude. You're worth millions of dollars.
I used to really like Crowder until he fucked over Dave Landau.
I have no idea who that is. Not Dave Landau. He did the,
Dave Landau was his, he was like, if you were Steven Crowder, I would be David Landau.
Okay.
I was like the second one. And he just imposed so many rules on him. Like, he's a stand-up comedian, and he was like, you can't do any shows, you know, if you're out of town, or you can't like talk about this. And it's like, if he was 5 minutes late, he wouldn't get paid for the day.
Oh, that's shitty.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. And now I'm not saying that Steven Crowder ain't wrong with his political insight, but as a person, he's a dick.
Yeah, that always seems to be the way. We're talking about like Steven Crowder, and I'm fighting a rock troll. I gotta tell you, the controls in this game were absolutely amazing, even with keyboard and mouse. Like, you could be pulling off all these moves, you know, even with the keyboard and mouse. I love this game. And people really loved the combat back then. I really did too. I wanted the story to be a little more involved, like with more talky like Dragon Age, but regardless though, this is pretty fucking good. Now, for those who might not have seen the intro cinematic, basically we're playing a guy who died, but had his soul put back in his body, so his fate, no, only fate is what we make, man. And so like humanity is fighting, oh, we're about to do the fate thing.
We're playing a dude dressed as a dude, disguised as another dude.
And that's another reason why this game got so successful, because that's fucking cool. That's fucking cool right there. Being able to do that. I love this game. And so basically humanity and like other elves are fighting like evil elves that want to take over the world, but you can't kill those elves because they'll come back to life because they're like imbued by the power of a mountain god. It's pretty good. It's really good. You can tell this was written by an actual writer. I wonder how much he charged. Maybe that's why they couldn't turn a profit with this game. And like, look at all the stuff you can level up. Like, this has just the right amount of proper leveling. That's one thing I hate about modern games, is they just put too much crap in it. You know, you ever notice like the skill tree is like, it's like a goddamn redwood, you know?
That,
Okay.
and there's like branching paths, and you have to buy 2 useless perks to get the one that you really want.
Yeah, I hate that. I do not like it. I do not.
Or I hate, and I know this is kind of dumb, but I hate when the perks are linear. So like, you can't access the good ones until a certain level anyway.
Whereas with this, it's much more sensibly laid out. Now, I love this voice actor. I'm not sure if it'll be able to come across on the audio just because, it's probably really quiet. But this voice actor is one of my favorites because it's the guy who voiced Candace Ordo in Knights of the Old Republic, the first RPG I ever actually played through. Pokemon doesn't count. At least I don't count it, because that's a JRPG, which is a bit of a different thing.
This is giving me God of War vibes.
Yeah, God of War is more of a linear third-person shooter, whereas this is more of an open-world kind of thing.
I was more referencing like the combat.
Oh, yeah. I tried playing God of War 1. Just couldn't get into it. I don't like Kratos. I don't like Kratos. I just didn't really like that combat. This is different enough where I kind of like it.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan either. My cousin loved it, but I'm like, yeah, this ain't for me.
Yeah. The only thing about God of War today that I really like is the fact that Christopher Judge, the guy who played Tilk, the guy with the gold thing in his head, plays Kratos now. Now, that would technically be race swapping if he were to play Kratos in a live-action movie, but since I like my Chris Judge so much, I'm willing to accept it. He's a little too old to play, like, young Kratos, but... So this is the Reckoning mode, where you can, like, it's basically like a rage mode, I guess you could say. If you defeat these enemies, you can then get, like, a special attack like this, and you can get more XP! They put a lot of effort into this game. Like, you consider the slop that exists today, where it's basically just the same repetitive crap over and over again. It's so bad that this didn't get a sequel. Or maybe it's good it didn't, because by the time the sequel would have come out, it would have been in the peak woke era, and I don't think it would have been as well received. Yeah, the armor looks a little better. It does look a little better. There's also had a tie-in with Mass Effect where you could get like N7 armor in the game. It's like, pfft, really? That's stupid. It don't make no sense. Now, I would actually go as far to say that God of War, that really is a teenage power fantasy. There's a lot of people that talk about like characters being teenage power fantasies, like, John McClane or something, but when you were a teenager, Triple X, did you want to be a middle-aged man with a divorced wife? Is that what you thought about when you were a teenager?
To be completely honest with you, I absolutely looked up to John McClane.
No, what I mean is, like, did you consider it like a power fantasy, though? Is that what you wanted to be?
Oh, yeah. Like him, JCVD.
No, the joke is, did you want to have to pay alimony for 18 years? That's a joke. The joke.
I'm sorry. I'm dumb.
Da, 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 da,
No, I don't want to pay alimony.
No, because like a lot, you'll find Reddit, slamming John McClane as like a power fantasy and completely unrealistic, even though he really isn't that unrealistic.
No. In fact, he was actually cast to be the every guy that they wanted.
The thing about like Die Hard is there really just needed to be 1 or 2 movies, and that was it. 3 at the most. We didn't really need to have John McClane's son in it. Die Hard, Die Harder.
Die Hard 4 was shit. They nerfed it to a PG-13, and they cut his iconic line.
Yeah, they had to.
And Die Hard 5 was just stupid.
I can only imagine. And yeah, who would want to be like Kratos? Just an angry man. It's like, my wife was killed. Now I'm going to destroy all the gods. God of War 3, I know the story of like God of War 3 a little bit, but I also know that Kevin Sorbo showed up as Hercules. That is how old God of War is. Okay, we'll do that quest later. I don't want to do just a bunch of random quests. I just want to kind of stick with the main story. But look at the size of the game, though. Look at that. They did a very good job with this. Like, there's whole regions in this game. Like, I'd love to know, like, why didn't this turn a profit? It's just sad. At least it got a remaster, so it got a little shot in the arm. But, like, this is like a true hidden gem, and I'm gonna review this next year. I already reviewed it a long time ago, but it was during my flop era when I was, like, miserable and depressed.
I remember when the baseball player went on the O&A show to promote it. And they did absolutely zero marketing for this game. Or if they did, it was really little.
It's one of those things. What bullshit. That's what kills so much good stuff. Like Transformers Juan that came out last year, it failed because it got no marketing either. It's like if people don't know it exists, you're kind of screwed. It's kind of like
Yep.
me. No one knows I exist, except important people.
Could also be the case too that they spent all the money on the game and didn't leave any for marketing.
Could be. And yeah, I'm starting to really notice that this game does look a little better. It's not a massive amount better, but it does look better though. This is a proper level of remastering.
The environment's great.
Yeah,
Looks like a Thomas Wayne picture.
It's beautiful. And it actually works. Compare this to something like, you know, Skyrim. Like, Skyrim is a good game, but Skyrim is an incomplete game just on launch. Like, it didn't even work for me when I first played Skyrim. Like, a door that was supposed to open, didn't open. Had to wait for a patch for that, whereas this game was working out of the box. And the story's great. Like, this is true old school D&D stuff. Of course, I act like I know D&D. I've never actually played D&D like on the tabletop. Were you ever nerdy enough to play the D&D tabletop?
No.
I tried, and they were too nerdy for me because they spent 3 hours trying to cut up cows. And no, I'm not exaggerating that either. Like, it was literally... No, I take that back. I think we killed, like, a monitor lizard and then cut up some cows for money, and that was about it. And of course there was an emo kid. And no, it wasn't me!
In my 20s, I had a friend that was real into tabletop gaming. And he would, like, create characters from books, and they would role play. And I sat in on one session, and we were there for 5 hours. And I'm not even joking when I say 4 hours was spent just discussing the rules.
Oh my god. I think I'd want to unalive myself.
4 hours of just arguing what's fair, what's unfair, what's out of bounds. I'm like, dude, are you going to actually play?
Oh crap, I'm actually hurt. They've hurt my feelings. But yeah, I couldn't do it. I think even if I had a good gaming group, I don't know that I would actually want to sit some. I don't know that I'd want to play anything for 4 hours. I don't know. It's got to be real good to make me want to waste an entire Saturday or Sunday on that. Maybe, I guess, like if you're a kid, you know, and you've got plenty of free time, maybe, you know, maybe, but that just doesn't do it for me. But like
The most fun I ever had playing a non-video game was drinking at my friend Zach's on New Year's Eve, playing Pictionary with one another. And the more you drink, the worse the drawings get, the funnier it becomes.
I mean, that actually does sound like a lot more fun than like arguing over rules.
Yep.
But I think D&D, I think more like the lore of like some of the different stories and universes. Because like early D&D from like the 80s, like this is an example here, like this Dalarath stone, you'll eventually catch up to it, but it's like where the stone was like singing like a song, like a classic, you know, medieval kind of thing. That's cool. It's very artistic. It's more artistic than autistic. I'm gonna get canceled for that one. Because like all the old D&D... Wait, say again? Say again?
I approve of that joke.
I mean, it's true. But like old D&D was all about, you know, like... It was trying to call back to an earlier form of literature, so they'd have like poems and shit in it. And it was very, very legit, I guess you could say. And the rules were still really kind of stupid. Even back in the ye olde days. Once again, I never played it. I've only seen videos on it. But honestly, you ever like describe D&D to somebody who doesn't know anything about it? And they're like, oh yeah, is that like the devil worship game? Is that the devil worship game? It's like, no, it's the nerdy game. Because, yeah, you're old enough to remember there was like the satanic panic because they thought all the kids were worshiping the devil because they played D&D.
Mm-hmm.
But clearly they never read the books, because if you go into a D&D book, the cover is probably what they saw. They probably just saw a cover. It had like a demon on it. But it's nothing but math. It's all math. It's just stats. It's, you know, like not character sheets, but it's just stats and like really nerdy literature. But there's even a movie made called Mazes and Monsters. It's a far out game, man. But it's literally...
I went to a Catholic school as a kid, and they actually banned Magic the Gathering.
Ugh, that's just sad. Okay, yeah, the lighting is a lot better here. In the 2012 version, it was not that good. We got some God rays. Magic the Gathering. See, like, Catholic schools should want D&D and Magic in there. They're so worried about, like, teen pregnancies. Like, that is a way to stay celibate. You know, you get your kids hooked on the Magic cards. They're not gonna have any time to have the sexy times, you know?
Right? They'll be
Like
too busy tapping mana than be tapping ass.
Exactly. I'm just saying.
See what I did there?
You want more virgins, just give them a D&D book. There you go.
Oh, it will make them in spades.
But they just don't know. And the thing is, they don't care. That's really the main thing. It's just ignorance of... And like, if they did know, they'd probably be like, what? That's all it was? Yeah, maybe you should have read the book, dumbass. I mean, wonderful people. Let's see, I'll check the chat here.
Banned for a little bit, too.
Wait a second.
Harry Potter got banned for a little bit as well.
Oh my god. I mean, I'm not surprised. Because, you know, not the Harry Potters.
They eventually caved when they realized that it wasn't like, you know, dark magic, devil worship stuff.
Yeah, it's the lamest shit you ever read.
Yep.
It's kind of funny that people would say, like, oh, yeah, remember there was a book that came out. I saw it at a local grocery store many years ago. What's a Christian to do in a Harry Potter world? It's like, you didn't read the book, did you? You don't know it's about some lame-o British kid that, like, wants to play stupid flying soccer or whatever that fucking game was.
Quidditch.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's what I say to my testicles whenever they're itchy. Quidditch!
Da-da-da-da. Let's see, Razor Fist, still posting videos. Yeah, his slop will show up now and again. Okay, so they rebutted where he didn't, like, whine to his girlfriend. Okay. Well, I don't know. There was a woman here. I swear we didn't do anything. I'm totally an incel.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, was she a cat lady?
No, she's an elf. This game is not that cringe.
She's a furry.
No. An elf is just like a regular human. A furry has to have fur. That's my line. That's the line in the sand I have. You know, if you got fur, you're a furry. If you're just like a regular fleshy human looking thing with, like, you know, ears, you're not. You know what, Canderous? Fuck you, man. I just work here, okay? Yeah, Canderous, it's like... Yeah, Razor Fist does come off as a bit assy. A lot of those, you know, right-wing YouTubers, I say right-wing with the biggest, air quotes, because a lot of them really aren't. They know what to say to get the monies. But the thing about that, though, a lot of them do come off as a little smug, a little overly, like, trying too hard. And it's all just the same old program shit. That reminds me, though, there was a video that I listened to at work that was really, really stupid. Now, Triple X, have you seen that new Superman movie yet?
No.
Do you care about spoilers at all?
Nope.
Okay, well, at the end of the movie, Superman, you know, he defeats the enemies as you'd expect. And he gives this big speech to Lex Luthor, as you'd imagine. And Soupy's like, I'm just as human as you. I feel pain. I feel scared. I just, he basically is like, I put my pants on one leg at a time, just like you. That sort of thing. It's a classic Superman speech. Realistically, he shouldn't have had to have given it, because like the audience should have been smart enough to kind of realize that as they watch the movie. But it's for the people in the nosebleed seats, or the people that are too busy making out in the back. So they're like, oh yeah, Superman learned, you know, that sort of thing. But what do you think people complained about with that speech, though? Take a guess. Oh, crap.
Ableism.
No. Think of something even stupider.
Savior complex.
Now, see, that would have made sense. But no. The complaint was, technically, Superman's greatest strength is actually his ability to fly and his super strength. It's like, what? Did you not watch the movie? Did you not get the whole point of the speech? Is that his actual greatest strength is the fact that he gives a crap about humanity, that he'll actually use the strength to, like, save people instead of just, you know, like, kill everyone? It's like, come on, people. These are not hard to understand themes. It's just, people are stupid, I guess. Well, I don't guess, I know.
I heard that the actor that played Superman is an honest-to-God police deputy and has accepted a role as an ICE agent.
Really? Oh, I know who you're talking about. The other one. Dean Cain. Yeah, that's... I like how the argument behind that was like, well, Superman's an immigrant. No, Superman's technically a refugee from a planet that blew up. It's not quite the same thing, people.
Yes.
But
see, he was fleeing an honest-to-God persecution, unlike the made-up ones from these other places.
So, it's one of those things where I've had a lot of respect for Dean Cain. He's got to be getting up there in age at this point, so to actually go and do that is pretty good.
Yeah, I'll give credit where it's due.
But, yeah, it's just, it's always so hilarious to see some of these idiots. Oh, yeah, we can change... We can't... Oh, we're too low level for a card. Okay, we can stick with just Brawler.
Remember
Okay.
that movie I told you I was watching the other day?
I think so.
It was called Shot Caller.
Yeah, that's the one. Where the guy went to prison and, like, he became... evil, something along those lines.
Yeah, he had to join a gang for protection, and he went from being a stockbroker to the leader of the Aryan Brotherhood.
Now that's a career change.
And in the end, he comes out of jail more criminal than he was, ever in his life. Just finished it yesterday. Great movie. Highly recommend it to y'all.
Yeah, crime dramas were never something I was that into, but that does actually sound like a pretty interesting premise, though.
Yeah, it was like he didn't want to be one. He had to be one for survival purposes.
That's why, for me, I never, ever want to set foot in a prison. It's a good thing I'm basically as chaste as Hank Hill.
Technically, Hank Hill did go to jail.
Because he was fishing with crack.
No, it was actually the episode where he found out that he got Bill tattooed on the back of his head.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
He tapped that car's bumper, and she's like, "You scratched my son's bumper sticker, you monster."
Oh, man. Mike Judge was able to actually poke fun at, like, cops without being a complete dick about it. And also, that was a long time ago, too, but still. You know? And I remember getting stopped. Well, I never personally got stopped by a small town, like, policewoman, but Gramps did. Because he was slightly over the line at a stop sign. Because we were going on a vacation to Corpus Christi. He was slightly over the line, and that's just there to trap people. But he was able to talk his way out of a ticket by mainly being old and having a... This is back when the NRA was still mostly good, an NRA pin on his hat, you know? Like, oh, he must not be one of those bad people. But still, that was pretty shitty, though.
You know, I love that about your grandfather, man. He had charisma for days.
Yeah, that's one of those things. Gramps was a guy that he was only ever 5'7", but you would never know it being around him because he was like legitimately a larger than life kind of guy. I remember back when I was starting to like outgrow. When I got taller than Gramps, I was like, wait, am I taller than him? I'd always have to like stand up next to him, like, yeah, I guess I am, but it doesn't seem like it. People were talking about Superman being the comments. Someone said, "So General Zod, but you wouldn't want him on Earth." Yeah. This Superman is not a real hero. The only thing about Superman really is they made him a little too over emotional. Where like he started like going to pieces in like that interview that Lois Lane did. It's like I would think he'd be a little stronger than that, but whatever. It's more for the audience's purpose.
What was your opinion on Henry Cavill's Superman?
Here's the thing. I like him, but the thing is, his Superman was completely forgettable. Man of Steel, I know people like to simp for it, but it's a completely forgettable movie. It's not the worst thing, but to be honest, I never went back to it in all the years since. I saw it in theaters in 2013. Never wanted to see it again. Not because I hated it, but it's just like a big pile of meh. Yeah.
The only thing I remember from that movie was that scene where he gets shot in the eye with a 9mm and his eyeball just tanks the bullet.
Oh, I think you're thinking of a different movie. I think that's actually Superman Returns, not Man of Steel.
Might be.
Well, there you go. That's our review of Man of Steel. It's completely forgettable.
The 60-second review.
It's kind of sad because there's a lot of Henry Cavill should have actually been given a script to read, you know. The movie should have had a plot that people actually cared about, etc., etc., but it just doesn't have any personality, whereas the modern day Superman has a lot of personality. They allowed the guy, whatever his name is, to actually act and actually have, you know, a plot. And yeah,
rumor has it that he's doing a. I said, rumor has it he's doing a Warhammer movie.
We'll see if Henry Cavill ever gets his Warhammer movie out. I just hope that Zack Snyder is nowhere near it, because Zack Snyder is terrible. He got one good movie, and that was Watchmen, and that was it. All the rest was complete garbage. Total fucking garbage.
Sin City was okay.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. I haven't thought about that in years.
I mean, it was just okay to me, but then he did that awful movie with what was it? Was it the Flash? Not the Flash. The Spirit.
I never saw that.
It's awful. It's just god awful.
300 wasn't that bad either. Okay, Zack Snyder's made some decent movies, but his DC movies were all terrible. No, this is terrible. BVS, god awful trash. It's like 2 hours too long for what it is. Batman and Superman barely interact. Save Martha. Hey, yeah, that Fourth Age guy is pretty annoying and crazy. Oh man, that guy's nuts. But what were you gonna say, Triple X?
I will admit that 300 is absolutely the gayest movie that men are totally allowed to love and enjoy.
Even more than Top Gun?
I would actually argue slightly more than Top Gun, yeah.
But they don't have a
Top
frolicking.
Gun only has a few scenes, but 300 is a whole movie about ripped abs, shirtless men doing shirtless things, and we still wanted to be Leonidas.
Yeah. 300.
So you heard it here first from me. 300, gayest movie you're allowed to love as a man.
So what happened? How did we go from 300 and Watchmen to Man of Steel and BVS? Could have been the studio. Wow, Candace, you kind of suck. Why can't you kill one wolf? I've literally killed everything. Kind of fell off after KOTOR.
John Doe.
I'm gonna keep going for another hour. Edit 300 to have a volleyball montage. I remember.
Oh, that would have been sick. Especially if the volleyball was like an enemy's head.
Yeah, that would be perfect. Man, 300.
Damn it, Riley, was a good idea.
Wolfenstein series in development. No! It's how much you want to bet? BJ won't be in it. He won't be in it. And it'll be the usual suspects. Someone who's a little fat, someone who's, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, in conclusion, I have no hope. It's kind of like that Doom Absolution movie, or whatever that movie was called. I can't remember. I did a video on it 6 years ago. I was very kind to it 6 years ago, but I'll just straight up say it's like the fact they had Fee Doom guy. It's like, come on, you had one job. Just make him a guy. Come on. You can have him have a female sidekick, but Doom guy. He needs to have abs and a guy, and he needs to kill demons. They got the demon killing down, but they didn't make him a guy. It's like, come on.
Doom was always a male power fantasy.
It's just not fair, you know? Like, I miss the days... Wait a second?
To be fair, if they were to, say, remake Alien, and it wasn't a Sigourney Weaver type character, and they made her a man, I would be equally pissed.
Yeah, because it wouldn't be right.
Exactly. So can we please stop with the race and gender swaps?
Let's see, Riley, they already, DICE already did that by letting you be able to play as a, well, black female, Natsock. That was a thing in the multiplayer. You could do that. I'm not sure why you'd want to do that, but you can. But yeah, we don't need to keep swapping these people. Make original characters. Like Doom, the novels, did have a female character that was Doom Guy's sidekick. It's like, just do that. It would make so much more sense to have, you know, a Wolfenstein movie, just have it be, you know, this band of brothers kind of thing. And there you go. It practically would sell. It would print money, you know. You could have like a female French resistance member, you know. There you go. Make her sexy with a French accent, and people would watch it. But that's not going to happen because
Played by Claudia Black.
A second.
Played by Claudia Black.
I think she's sadly a bit too old for that now. Because isn't she like now? I think maybe in her 60s at this point. So I've seen pictures of her. She aged well, but
it's the voice that just does it for me.
Yeah. I can understand that.
Did you ever happen to see that awful dog water take by that one YouTuber who was like, do you ever play a video game that's a shooter and suddenly you're a Nazi soldier?
Oh yeah,
and you're
I saw
like,
that.
wait a minute. Dude, that was the stupidest thing I ever saw in my life.
Yeah, and I'm sure the guy who made that video knew it was stupid. So
like, oh, why can't we just have red versus blue?
All he did for that video, he was trying to be stunning and brave, and instead he looked like a complete and total fool.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I get not wanting to hate people, Cyrus, but I'll tell you that that guy, the Fourth Age guy, I listened to a video he did where he was like, and the stupid people won't be able to get jobs and they'll need to be dealt with. It's like, what? Because of AI. He's like saying stupid people won't get jobs because AI will replace them. It's like, what are you talking about? He's that kind of person. He's basically a crazy person. And that particular video also had some great brain rot too, where this fourth age guy, I think he's got to be in his early 50s, was all like, oh yeah, we got to remove females from the workforce. Now that's been said a lot by the red pill community, right? But like this guy took it a step further, saying that like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. Now tell me, Triple X, if I'm wrong about this, but there's not this. I'm about to say something, and tell me if this sounds like communism. So, like, because stupid people won't be able to get jobs, they'll have to remove females from the workforce, but they'll incentivize females to leave the workforce by paying their husbands half again their salary. Where's that money going to come from? And that'll incentivize people to get married more or something. It was some weird screed. But does that not sound communistic there?
Here's the thing. You don't have to reward me financially to get women out of the workplace. I will do that for free. In fact, I will pay to help get these women out of the workforce.
Oh my.
Okay, I'm just joking, by the way. Yeah, I'm just kidding.
I can tell. But no, it's just the idea that like you're gonna pay. Where's the money? Who's gonna pay that? The government?
Yeah, if you know, it's gonna just be taxed from like the working class anyway.
Yeah.
So, what's the point? You're gonna tax us to just give us our money back?
Yes.
Before you keep most of it for yourself.
AI is a massive bubble that steals from artists and even other AI programs. Yep. So. Yeah, people are going nuts about AI, probably in the same way they did about computers in the 80s, because I've seen some stuff from like 80s books where they're talking about like, men shall always rule over computers, and they shall not rule over us. They're talking about something with like 64 kilobytes of memory. And we're gonna go Super Saiyan! I need something better than a rusty sword, but I'm not doing any side quests, so...
This computer has 3 gigs of hard drive space, which is far more than anyone could ever need. Why would they ever give a computer a 3 gigabyte hard drive if not to replace humans? Meanwhile, fast forward to 1998.
Exactly. Started with Amiga emulation. I gotta tell you, I've never wanted to play anything on Amiga. I've reached a point in my life where I'm kind of done with games that are that simplistic. That's why I'm really looking forward to getting more into PS3 emulation, because that's where games with the right level of complex. I mean, you consider, I played about an hour and a half of that Uncharted game last night. It's like, man, there's so many different gameplay styles. There's a really advanced story. Nolan North is great at voice acting. It's just kind of hard to go back to like the really old games when you've got like 3 colors and like just beep boop music, you know? I like. Second.
How far did you go before you called it a night?
It was. They landed on the island. They crashed on the island. Nathan Drake and the woman.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I know exactly where you're at.
Yeah, it's like 1:30 in the morning, so I was like, I'm just gonna go to sleep and play it tomorrow. I'm gonna play it a little bit tonight. Then I'm gonna stream it next week. Or no, when did you want me to stream that game?
September 6th, my long night.
Alright. It's the Viagra. Wait, no, we can't say that.
The music and the atmosphere and the visuals, all top notch.
It is one of those things that I'm glad I didn't play it back then. Okay, this looks pretty good. I'm sure the remaster makes this look better, but man, in 2012, that would have looked even more awesome. You look at the size of that thing. I mean, it does look like old D&D rule books. And I will say that, do you know when Uncharted came out? Was that like 2006 or something?
Uncharted was it came out early in the PlayStation 3 life cycle, so I would like to say maybe like 2007.
It still looks really good. I'm playing it on the PC, so it's helping a little bit, but you know, like it still looks really good. Like when Nathan Drake gets in the water, his clothes are wet. 2007, man. But yeah, like Nathan Drake's clothes are wet. You know, like it looks good, it plays good, you know. Too bad all the real developers, you know, were kind of forced out of the industry because bad stuff.
I can happily say that every Uncharted game is great. There's really not a weak entry in the series.
All right, so there's a lot of lore in this game. We're gonna get into this game for a little bit. So you got like the Tuatha. They're basically like immortal elves that you can kill one, but it'll come back to life shortly thereafter. Then you got the Niskaru here. These guys are basically from a completely different faction. They're from Hell. They're like demons. They're completely unaffiliated with the Tuatha. So like, there's a lot into this game. Like, man, once again, I don't know how much they paid R.A. Salvatore, but damn, they did good. Now, Triple X, it's gonna be hard for me to want to really play Last of Us, just because, like, it's zombies. They've been done to death, though. It's like...
But they're not zombies. See, they're fungal infected.
I see. It's like, oh, well, technically, they're not zombies. They're actually, they're similar to, but legally distinct. It's like, uh-oh. Okay, we've got... Okay, we don't really have anything other than this.
I will admit, the first game is worth playing through. Absolutely play through the first game. If for any reason you decide to play the second game, I highly suggest you stop when you find Abby at the beach. And then just make up your own ending, because whatever you make up will be better than whatever Neil Cuckman gave us.
No. And yeah, Joe, I actually streamed that last week. No, go on.
The Last of Us 2 was the game that really destroyed Naughty Dog.
Yeah, I guess they had to show their loyalty.
He fired all his creative female writers and brought in the blue hair Anita Sarkeesian types.
No. Ugh. Great sword time! I really love the fight music in this game. I don't know if you can hear it because it's probably really quiet, but it's just a nice triumphant little march.
Was that a jiggle physics I just saw?
It might have been, yeah. Because this game, like I said, this game was originally from 2012, so you could do that back then. Guess people weren't gonna get mad at you. But yeah, the Heretic Hexen re-release, I did a stream of that last week, and there's a review that's going to come out next month on September 1st on Laborious Day. So, in short, it's good. It basically makes Hexen playable because you have objective markers. I'm going to talk more about that in a Hexen retrospective next year. But I'll tell you this, the reason why the objective markers in Heretic plus Hexen are so good is you know where you need to go, and you also know where you don't need to go. Also, this elf is pretty hot. Just gonna straight up say. Oh my.
Alright, Chad, if you were alone in a room with that elf and no one would know, would you?
Even if people did know, I would.
Ah,
Let's just put it this way. Yeah, who would read the end of a book? Bastards. Post-apocalyptic fantasy story. Oh, what's that called? Sword of Shannara, Cyrus. Sword of Shannara by, what the fuck is his name? I can't remember his name. He's a very famous writer, but Sword of Shannara is a post-apocalyptic fantasy thing with elves and dwarves, but they're like mutated humans. It's very good. I haven't read it in years.
Stephen King.
No, that writer, Terry Brooks. Terry Brooks, Sword of Shannara. Very good stuff. Stephen King wishes he was as good.
I know it wasn't Stephen King. I was being a silly goose.
Oh. I don't know if it's a Lord or knockoff, but then again, I've never read Lord of the Rings because I can't get past the pipeweed, so I don't know. In my fantasy reader's guide, I don't put Sword of Shannara on there just because it can get a little weird and it's a bit long for what it is. And weirdly enough, MTV made a TV show based upon that book. It had John Rhys Davies as one of the kings.
Ooh, I loved him in From Paris with Love.
He's a very good actor. He's the only reason I watched Sliders back in the 90s.
You ever see From Paris with Love?
No, I didn't even know it was a thing until you told me.
Yeah, that's right. It's John Travolta, but like John Wick style.
John Travolta is probably really, really old now. That's not probably about it, but still.
He was really good in that movie.
One of the weirdest John Travolta movies I can think of, though, that I have seen as a kid is a movie called Michael, where he plays the Archangel Michael, and he comes down to Earth to, I think, understand humans better. I don't really remember the plot very much. But I used to...
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
See, that's what I like. Movies that are just a little weird like that.
Did you ever see Shoot 'Em Up?
You would think I would have, but no. But I am
Oh,
aware of
that
it.
whole movie of gun porn. Another movie I highly recommend.
Not much more of a sci-fi kind of guy most of the time. Rewatched Screamers not too long ago. Still holds up.
I love that movie.
Come on, come on, come on, come on, go, 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 go! 100% XP. Fucking love this game.
There was some legitimately creepy shit in that movie.
Yeah, it's based on a short story called The Second Variety. It's like they got some really creepy child actors, and the ending is also pretty creepy and depressing. But I do recommend, though.
The one thing I remember the most about that movie was the hot, sexy robot that you find out later is a robot.
Yeah.
She introduces herself and says, "Hi, I'm from Pittsburgh." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm from Pittsburgh too."
If I'm not mistaken, like the female robot like falls in love with Peter Weller. I mean, I can see that happening. Peter Weller, you know, he's got that drip, as the cool kids say.
She does fall in love with him.
I can see why Peter Weller, if true, got a lot of female attention. You know, he's not this big kind of buff guy, but he's a guy that I think females would probably like just because he's going to be very entertaining, you know, to be around, very smart. If I'm not mistaken, he's got like a master's degree in medieval art. So, like, let's put it this way. Females like artistic kind of guys. I should know. They like artistic, not autistic.
I also love the fact that they're like irradiated. So whenever the radiation gets high, they have to light red cigarettes.
Yep, I love that too. It's like, that's back when you could smoke. I don't even smoke. That's the thing. I never wanted to smoke. Gramps made sure of that.
Delicious nicotine.
Gramps smoked every day of his life since he was 12. But when I came around, he was like, I'll beat you about the head and shoulders if you even think about doing that. So, and I
Yeah.
never did.
Yeah, my parents gave me that talk too. Didn't work.
It's one of them things. I never wanted to. Lighting a paper tube on fire and smoking and sucking up the smoke just never really appealed anyway.
It's one of those things. It's like an acquired taste.
You know, I've been told that about like alcohol and shit. It's like, yeah, it's an acquired taste. If I gotta acquire it, I don't want it. I don't want it. You don't have to have an acquired taste for like fucking cake. It's not like you have to like eat 10 pounds of cheesecake to enjoy it. Maybe it's like your body telling you something, like maybe you shouldn't smoke chemicals. Maybe you shouldn't drink literal poison. Yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah, true. Everyone has their vices, General. Even you.
This is true. I like collecting ships way too much. But yeah, I get it. I would never judge anybody for doing it. I'm just saying, like, I would never really want to. And yeah, the Vulcans in Star Trek Enterprise were bad. They actually had started to become assholes in the Star Trek novels beforehand. But humanity got off pretty easy. They didn't just invade. The Vulcans are assholes, really though, because like they basically think they're better than everybody. I'll do a
5
little
minute
side
warning.
quest. All right,
What are you drinking?
water.
Yum.
Earth's blood. When I was a kid, I used to drink nothing but like Diet Coke. But I broke myself of that when I was 16 because I was like, I'm going to drink nothing but water, and I literally wrote it down on a piece of paper, and I had at the time a oh, wait a second.
You know, from like 2004 to 2008, I don't know what Diet Coke was doing, but god damn, their Diet Coke was delicious.
This is very loud, by the way. They needed to remaster their audio, because holy crap, that's loud. Okay, you know what? We're going to skip that cinematic. Because that's really loud, and we don't really care. I think that's for the DLC anyway. Like, ugh. Like, seriously, people, don't master it to where it's going to blow your eardrums out. But these days, I can't stand Diet Coke. I can't drink that nastiness. It's very bitter, and it tastes like you're drinking battery acid. Oh crap, go, 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 go! Tank Girl, I haven't thought about that movie in ages. Laura Petty was the woman who played her. Had the most annoying voice, but I'll be honest with you, back when I was an adolescent, I thought she was kind of hot. If she hadn't been so old, she would have made for a very good Harley Quinn, I think. That reminds me of a movie she was in. That's the thing I miss about TV to a certain extent, is you could find stuff you wouldn't necessarily know about. There was a random Sci-Fi Channel movie called Route 666. You ever heard of that?
Actually, I think I did.
Yeah, because it was it's a Sci-Fi Channel movie, and Route 666 is about an evil haunted road with like road ghosts.
Oh, it had to have been filmed here in Pittsburgh then.
No, I think it was like in Arizona or something.
Our roads are shit.
I think it was in Arizona. Basically, they're like trying to track down this drug. I think it was like this drug lord. And so they go on the Route 666. The car breaks down, and they got to fight against like road ghosts. It's got Laura Petty as a police officer, and Lou Diamond Phillips, who I think is dead now. as like another cop, and turns out his father's one of the road ghost people. Oh, not the hot one.
Dude, I would punch a road ghost in its face.
Wait a second.
I said I'd punch a road ghost in its face.
Well, here's the thing though, like they turn other people into road ghosts. Well, you know what? She might have been hot, but you know what? She has got linen shoes and a cloudy magic shard. I wonder what she was using that for. Very suggestive.
Yeah, some ghosts are gonna be all like, boo, and I'm like, fuck you, ghosts, and I shoot it with like a 45.
I mean, they do that in the show, but Lou Diamond Phillips is alive. Okay, well, good. I was afraid he might have died. We're fighting a evil chicken here. I think this is from like the DLC, or this is like a new enemy for this. Because like I don't remember this from the original game.
All right, Cyrus, I'm going to answer your question really quick because I do have to go. Literally, I swear on my life, it's like going to sleep like normal and then just waking up and it's like weeks later. You don't notice the passage of time. And it literally just feels like a regular night's sleep. Except when you wake up, you can't move your arms, legs, or any muscles.
Yeesh.
Ironically, the best glass of water I ever had in my life came from when they weren't letting me drink because of the trach tube. And a nurse left a glass of water too close to my bed, and I drank it.
Uh-oh.
And it was tap water, but it might as well have been like angel tears.
I'll tell you the thing about
General,
like... Go on.
Sadly, it is time I must depart.
Alright. Well, go rally the troops. Literally. El Capitan?
Yes, sir. I appreciate the stream tonight. I love you all in chat. Good to see you all. Until next week, be safe, be well. General, I salute you. Bye, everybody.
Honestly, it sounds a bit like the whole coma thing sounds a bit like what cryogenic suspension would be like in kind of like a sci-fi sort of thing. Like you'd go into cryo and you'd sleep for like 20 years, and you'd wake up and it would be like you'd just gone to sleep. Poor Ripley. That actually is one of those things that it's kind of like a fan theory. Like Ripley's kind of like half insane because the events of Aliens, and Alien 3 all happened in like a week for her. Like there's a little bit of time where she's like on the moon as like a loader, but that's it, All the rest is just fighting xenomorphs and having everybody she cares about die. Okay, 1 second, let me check here. Ooh, here we go. There we go. It's at 7:12. So let's see if that actually. That's the only problem with space travel. You never know if you're going to be gone for a year or 3,000 years. It's kind of. That's why the whole cryonic suspension thing is a little iffy. You never know. But yeah, this is a pretty nice fantasy game. Like, it's very, very impressive. It's too bad they ran out of money. By the time Star Trek takes place, they don't need it anymore. But like back in the 90s, there was like cryogenic satellites where like people would like freeze themselves to go into the future, and there's a season 2 episode of TNG where the Enterprise finds one of those, and they kind of want to blow it up with the people on there, because that's back when like the TNG crew were like kind of sociopathic. There's actually a episode of that where like they go to the Irish planet and they go to a clone planet, and like these cloners clone like Commander Riker and Dr. Pulaski, and they literally murder their own clones. They just vaporize them. It's like, what? You can't do that. Okay, we got to do the fate. What do you need me to do? Oh, I think this is probably the DLC. I didn't even know I was going through there. Whatever. We don't care. We just want to cut up some creatures. I would like to see a fantasy series set in the future. There is one by Brandon Sanderson, and it's terrible. It's a steampunk thing called Wax and Wane. And it's pretty bad. I think I might fast travel back to the main game because I don't know where any of this stuff is. Ugh. Can I fast travel back? Let's find out. There's the map. Okay. Now this is the Teeth of Naros. Yeah, that we did end up in the DLC by accident. Yeah, let's go to no, we don't want to go there. Yeah, let's go to Goreheart and let's just do one more main quest thing. But yeah, the Wax and Wane series is basically just a steampunk series. But the characters are boring and all the rest. And it's one of those things where there's some interesting morals in there. And one of the things about morality in some of these books is that they get a little weird. See, like, those of us who have to live, like, in the real world, we actually know this thing called scarcity and how scarcity is difficult. Well, for some reason, writers don't seem to realize this, and so in this Wax and Wane book series, like, humanity is, like, aided by this actual, like, an actual god who actually, like, helps them out, you know, and has, like, food all around, like, coming, like, actual fruit trees that can actually nourish the body better than real fruit, and there's, like, a lot of them, so nobody goes hungry. Like, there's a lot of peace in the land. And the novel basically is like, that's a bad thing because humanity is not being made to advance through, you know, like, scarcity and such. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Are you telling me you want people to, like, go hungry and shit? That's actually one of the things that is often discussed these days. It's like humanity has it too easy, but you could have fooled me. Let's see. This helps clones themselves. What's there? The technology he used was different. The Kaminoans take, like, you know, decades, well, not a decade, but take like a decade to grow somebody, whereas the Impy has, like, more advanced cloning technology that actually takes a lot less time. I am selling this stuff, right? Yeah, the gold's going up. Okay. I'm not paying as much attention as I should be, but Perfidious boots. Perfidious Albion. To sell all the crap. See, to me, like, selling the crap in these games is like half the fun. Okay, we are not. I am not nerdy enough to do the crafting in a lot of these games. I feel like you can get 1 gold for the bones. Gonna grind some bones to make our bread. Okay, can we get, like, a sword that's actually good? Okay, that's a $4,000 sword. It's like real life. The numbing longsword. Okay, that's actually pretty good, because I want to use just like a one-handed sword. Alright, let's just buy that for 975 gold. Let's go ahead and just buy one iron. Do we really want to buy that? No, I just want the sword. Okay, let's give John Goodman a real sword here. Alright. Now that sword's like way too big for like anything, for any kind of real life sort of thing. But you know what? That's one thing where these nitpickers, when they talk about some of these things, like, you wouldn't wear your sword on your back. I got 2 videos coming out where I do wear a sword on my back, and it's like, it looks cool, okay? In the real world, you can't actually take a sword off your back. You'd have to, like, design a sheath for that to work, but there's a video that no longer exists where I took a sword off my back. And I thought it was going to be really awesome. I was going to reach back there and pull it out. You can't. Unless you have, like, really long arms, you can't do it. Like, it just doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And so what I did to actually make it look good, and it'd be really nice if this footage still existed, but it doesn't. What I did is, like, I just literally held the sword behind me without a sheath and I pulled it out. But the fact is, though, sword on your back looks cool. He actually does face off against Palps in one battle in his physical prime, and Palps completely mops the floor with Luke. I think they just went back to the old asshole Palp because it's so iconic, and they wanted it to be more recognizable. But yeah, there's young Palps in there. He's got it. He has his own lightsaber and everything. See, people like to complain about bringing back Palps, but the thing about it is, I thought it was pretty cool because it shows that it's like this undead sorcerer. You know, you just kill him. You blow him up. You throw his ass down a mine, not a mine shaft. You throw his ass down an energy shaft, blow up a giant space station. All it does is piss him off. I thought that was pretty neat. I mean, the whole Chosen One concept didn't even exist in 1993 when that comic came out, so... the idea that, like, oh, it ruins the Chosen One. No, it doesn't. The Chosen One was something that, you know, George Lucas came up when he was high on meth or something. I'm not sure if George Lucas does meth, but I wouldn't put it past him. Even in the EU days, they were saying, like, you know, we only can... New Sabaton album Legends? Ooh. That's not too far from now either. I want to know why Predator Badlands isn't coming out in October. Like, you would think it would, because, like, Predator is arguably a horror franchise. Like, you would think that they'd put that out around that time, but I guess they want to do some reshoots, so that's why we gotta wait till November. So yeah, we've got the Irish elves who are actually good. And so, like, that's another thing you'll notice when it comes to certain fantasy or even sci-fi, is that if you have, like, a long-lived species... Hold on, what is this quest here? Price of Passage, seek the Primos, Teeth of Noros, hunt the hunted... That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do that quest instead of doing this. The House of Ballads. It's where you become like a member of this, so you can remember like some kind of poem. It's very old school D&D. He does, Cyrus. He does become a Force demon. The whole last part of Dark Empire is him literally trying to possess Anakin Solo. Does he or does he not? Find out in Empire's End. There's a really cool fanfic that I kind of want to do an audiobook for. I just haven't had the time to get around to it, where I want to like read it, where like Palps goes to Force Heaven, like literally he does. He goes to like this giant desert, and then basically he gets redeemed in the end. It's a pretty neat little concept there. There's a lot of good Star Wars fanfics. You just gotta find them. There's so much garbage, so much dross to get through. A lot of fetish stuff. Lot of fetish stuff. There's one fetish fiction that I recall that I even did a positive video on, but the more I think about it these days, the more I realize it's pretty terrible. Where they did a crossover with Star Trek and Star Wars, and then had like an evil Jaina Solo, engage in certain activities that were not consensual with Captain Picard. It's like, somebody's not a fan of Star Trek. Like, somebody doesn't like Captain Picard there. It's like, poor Captain Picard. He just can't catch a break. I never really liked the idea of, like, turning, like, heroic characters to the dark side. It was always kind of stupid. But I think the EU handled Palps very well. They never brought him back after Dark Empire. They resisted the urge to, like, keep bringing him back over and over again. Okay, so we're still trying to go to Glindra here. And like I said, this is a full open world RPG with a pretty well written story, with characters that are actually interesting. A lot of fantasy really isn't, though. A lot of it is just, you know, the same crap over and over again. Especially once dark fantasy became popular thanks to George R. R. Martin. I'm not a fan of stories that just, they end in the same place they start. That sounds like, oh man, that's so cool. It's like, not really. You actually waste your time reading a trilogy where nothing happens in it. I definitely recommend staying away from Joe Abercrombie. He's like a very popular fantasy writer today. And hello, Grilson. Do not read Joe Abercrombie. He's terrible. He is terrible at writing. I like how we have an option to be an asshole, to be an actual human being. Let's be an actual human being.
It's just, I wasn't always the man I am now. In my youth, I was quite a warrior. I fought beasts.
Yeah, Dark Lord is good. It's Vader trying to come to terms with being a leathery burnt bacon. All right, Candace. Yes, you know, you can join Andrew Tate's cult or something. Okay, so we're gonna go fight a boss. Well, fight through the front. Even though we'd probably need like a whole bunch of troops to go storm it. But hey, you know what? We got magical fate powers. Where's the door? There it is. Yeah, shut the fuck up, Candace. Nobody likes you. Actually, everybody likes you. Yeah, R.A. Salvatore wrote the story for this game. You can tell, like, because this is a very, very complex story with a lot of different factions. For those just joining, we're playing as a guy who was resurrected from the dead, and what we're doing is we're fighting evil elves that want to kill all humans. These evil elves can't die, so you can kill one, and he's just going to come right back to life. Hell also exists, and it's completely separate from like the evil elves. Everything has their own name. Like the evil elves are called the Tuatha. There's also good elves, but I forget what they're called. When it comes to like major league villains, like say a Darth Vader or an Emperor Palpatine, the less you know about them, the better. They really oversaturated the market on Darth Vader. Like, we don't really need to know all this stuff about him. That's why I don't really like the prequels that much, because we didn't need that much. That's only in later years that BioWare did that. The KOTOR days, they didn't do that. And I don't see how Force Lightning could ever be a dark side power. It's like, so it's okay to cut somebody's head off, but it's not okay to shock the shit out of them? I'm just not sure that's an accurate appraisal here. Let's put a point in persuasion. I'm glad we have that skill. I'm not really doing a magic build, but I'll put another power into my lightnings. Let's see, and we'll go back to test your might. Put all the points into that fucking sword. Okay, we can be a fighter. Yeah, let's just be fighter. Baratus. But the whole idea of like dark and light powers, I like how Cal Katarn handled that. Where it's like, it's not light or dark, it's how you use them. It's like, yeah, it's like, arguably, if you want to be kind of hoity-toity about it, like anytime you use the Force to like kill somebody, that could technically be dark in some way. Just zap him. It's got to be fantasy, because I don't know if you could really stab a bear to death with a sword. I don't think you'd want to try.
I don't have an answer. His army is locked in a siege in Clor. Good luck. I'll see you in...
I can never get into those Euro RPGs. I tried playing Risen 2, the pirate one, and it's just like, it was kind of meh. I just didn't really like it that much. They're always so really hard when you first start. Like, you get like a rusty dagger and you're expected to like fight, you know, like an ogre or something. It's like overly difficult. Cut him up. So yeah, these Tuatha, see, we kill these guys, but they literally will just come back to life. Not like immediately. Well, I'm really getting my ass handed to me by these fucking archers. Come on, come on, come on. And, Riley, you got a point there where a lightsaber could be a tool, but then, like, by that logic, they would probably have to worry about, like, what kind of, like, lightsaber form you use, like, what kind of cut do you use. It's like, if you cut somebody's head off, or if you use, like, force push and push somebody off of a cliff or something, or push them into a vat of boiling acid, would that be dark side? It's just, I don't know. To me, like, lightning is just, it's lightning. I guess, like, when I think of force lightning, I think of it more like in a game context where it does a shitload of damage, but if all it does is just cause pain, then yeah, then I can see that being a dark side power. Because it's not actually, you know, an efficient use of, like, force. And then then I could see that as being, you know, like, evil. Now, like, if you were to, you know, like, zap somebody with a high amperage lightning and it just stops their heart, okay, then there's that. We don't see that much in Star Wars because it'd make a lot of these fights really, really, really lame. Because, like, you think about it, you could use force push or pull to literally stop somebody's heart. In fact, the EU even talks about that. Where, like, I think it was Mara Jade talking to Corran Horn. It's like, yeah, I could use telekinesis to, like, shut this artery in your brain and knock you unconscious. It's like, then why don't you ever do that, Mara Jade? Why don't you ever do that? You would think she would. But, you know, you kind of have to balance your protagonists. You kind of have to forget what they can do sometimes. Because then it's like, oh, then why don't they win the game? Yeah, Darth Vader does have a home, but it's not on Mustafar. The best castle! It's like on a planet with, like, acid rain. Now, see, like, force choke, yeah, I can see that, because you're just causing pain. So I can kind of see that. Intent matters. But man, those powers are really fun to use, though. Oh my, I've seen the image. I've seen the image. The meme image of, Natalie Portman saying, "Harder, Annie, harder." Oh my. No wonder she got together with him. I mean, I can see like a Queen Amidala getting together with an Anakin, just because he does have that crazy energy. He's got the crazy eyes, and unfortunately chicks dig that too. Especially some that are repressed as crap. As a Queen Amidala would have been. I like how that one dude's just kind of like walking. He doesn't care. Like, he literally does not give a fuck. Come on, pick up the gold, you idiot. Now, when this game first came out, I kind of compared it a little bit to Fable. But this is a lot less annoying than Fable. That's a franchise that got forgotten. Which I should probably do a video on at some point. Peter Molyneux. People used to complain about that guy. Now he's like God compared to all these slop games that keep coming out. There is another fantasy game I want to stream sometime next month that is very much slop, but it's good slop. But it still proves my point, though. Like, a lot of these games are almost entirely identical. Give him a sweet, sweet chainmail greaves, except that's not chainmail. So the Valley of the Jedi, you gotta remember, a lot of this EU stuff, all of this stuff is after the fact. All of it is. Because they'll create it in one thing, and then the writers have to kind of like find a way to fit it all in. And that's not easy. So the Valley of the Jedi was created for a video game, Jedi Knight 2. No, not Jedi Knight 2. Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight. Yeah, it's confusing. They created it for that. And then they basically had to retcon it into actual continuity where it made sense. So, the way that Valley... Now, they forget about the Valley of the Jedi pretty fast, though. Oh, no, they don't. Okay, yeah, at the end of the game, you free all the Jedi, or free all the Jedi and all the, other people that are trapped in the Valley. So that's why it's not... No, wait, no, they don't! No, they don't do that, because that's a plot point in this, in, Jedi Knight 2. Okay, then I was right. They did just forget about it. Yeah, they did just forget about it after, the Jedi Knight games were done and over with, but they retconned that into being created in the, Darth Bane books. I don't want to spoil that, because that's a big plot point. It's a big plot point in those books, but yeah. They had to kind of, sort of, retcon all of that into existence, and they did it so well. Zap him! See what time is it? 1:51. Okay, good. True love is sand. Sand! Sand! You know, I don't ever remember that line, though. You know, that line, said it's coarse and terrible and gets everywhere. It's like, I don't think I paid enough attention to those Anakin and Padme scenes to actually remember that that even happened. Okay, then how do I... Oh, we gotta touch, like, the evil rock. What, do we destroy it? Yeah, there we go. When in doubt, just smashy smashy time. Jim Cummings. Okay, so the reason they call humans, I don't know, I don't care. So the reason why these evil elves call you a child of dust is because humans die, whereas these evil elves don't. Oh, this is so stupid. But this is a common thing in fiction. We know our roles in the cycle. It's like, we have no roles in this, in any cycle, but to break through them. I never played Mysteries of the Sith. I don't even know who you are. I like that line. It's like, wait, what? I like it when, like, the hero doesn't really know who the villain is. It's like, this villain is, like, trying to take down the good guys. It's like, I don't know who you are. They kind of retconned that for a couple of things. I don't remember why Kyle Katarn cut himself off. I think it's like he fell to the dark side in Mysteries of the Sith and tried to kill Mara Jade. But I never had that game, and I still haven't played it. So, I could not tell you why. Okay, so he blew up a stone that let them track us. Oh, I gotta go to the House of Ballads. Ugh. It is the most boring plot line in the entire game. But thankfully, I'm almost done streaming, so I won't have to play it. Yeah, there needed to be more Kyle Katarn content. Like, a lot more, because he was a very good character. Yeah, the bear looks cute now. Which do you choose? Man or maid? No, bear or mage? Or is it a bear that looks like a mage? Raceland. So as of last week, we got a new episode of Peacemaker, the James Gunn John Cena TV show. It's not bad. It's certainly not woke, thankfully, but it definitely brings back the home box office TNA. Back in the 90s, when I was a kid, like, HBO was like this big deal. And yeah, I would not trust Disney either. It's like, I can't imagine what they do to poor Kyle. They make Jan Orr's the hero. But back in the 90s, the HBO or home box office network was like a big deal because there was like, well, titties. And for a young adolescent, that's all I needed to hear. But over the years, that became kind of obsolete due to, well, prawn and such. Well, they bring that back for season 2 of Peacemaker. There's a whole giant, well, orgy scene, and it's the thing is, it is very gratuitous, like very, very gratuitous. But it serves a point in the plot, and most importantly, it's not that hard to watch. But man, that is not a show that you'd ever want to watch with other people, because, oh boy, I hope there's not like something like that in every episode, because the whole episode is pretty tame compared to the first season, and then you got that, just hardcore nudity. But that scene was, to a certain extent, kind of powerful, I guess you could say, because it's where Peacemaker basically just goes on an all-night cocaine binge, because he basically is rejected by everyone. But they fully retcon Peacemaker into the James Gunn verse by just, well, replacing the last scene of season 1. Retcons, there is no explanation. It's just they didn't know what they wanted to do with Kyle Katarn. Originally, they wanted for Dark Forces, well, they wanted Luke, but back then they cared about this thing called continuity, and so they came up with their own character instead of trying to shoehorn Luke into that, which is a very good idea. So, like, when it comes to something like that, you know, actually, it's kind of funny. The action figure is where Kyle Katarn looks a little like a lumberjack, because they literally just kind of take the artwork from Dark Forces 1 and just kind of like Photoshop or whatever the early 90s equivalent, the beard from the second one. It's very weird like that, but hey, it was the 90s. But I do recommend watching the Peacemaker show. Just don't watch it with like family or anything like that, because oh dear, it's the one thing that's kind of bad about like old horror movies or movies from the 80s, is you never know if you're gonna get like some gratuitous nudity. I was on a vacation with my mother and grandmother last year, and we went to Fort Worth to check out the Dr. Pepper Museum, and evidently a lot of people like the Dr. Pepper Museum, because there's a shitload of people there. But anyway, we're watching a movie, the classic 80s movie, Trading Spaces. That's okay. That's fine. That's good. There's gratuitous nudity in Trading Spaces, and it's very awkward to try to watch that movie with your grandmother and mother. It's like, come on, 80s. It's also kind of like Predator 2, where there's that just smash cut to that chick riding that dude, and it's like, oh dear, oh dear. Or that 3 seconds of Bear Ripley ass and Alien. It's like, oh my. Very, very awkward indeed. I know early seasons of Game of Thrones had that too. Oh, we got about 2 minutes left. Yeah. Anime was bad about that, like Chun-Li in her famous shower scene. Like, that's why I like how I'm glad that nudity kind of got removed from like just mainstream movies, because it's not that like I'm Mr. Prudy Man, but it's like, if I want to watch something with, you know, friends or just not by myself, it's like it is a very awkward experience. Let's see. I cannot imagine wasting my time on all the alchemy nonsense. So you see, Todd Howard, you can have random caves and a plot and characters and story. All right, lads and lasses. next week I am not... Actually, wait a moment. One moment, people. We're not going to end yet. I think. We'll have to see. I'll keep going for a few minutes longer. We might get another commentator in here before I call it a day. Oh, Species. I liked Species, but man, that is not a good movie. It mainly was a TNA kind of thing. It's just kind of a boring movie to a certain extent. There's actually a Species novelization that gives you more plot, but more importantly, it was written by a Aliens writer, which I was kind of surprised at. But Species, now that is a gratuitous franchise. The second one had the prego fetish. It's like, yeesh. See. Yeah, I've been going 2 hours and Dubro hasn't responded. We'll try to get another co-commentator in here in addition to Triple X Medic next weekend. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, I have been General Lotz, and I'm going to wish you good Singularity and good Wolfenstein 2009, whatever makes you happy.